Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I think everyone's here, so we can start. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start the debate, I would like to ask all of the debaters to state your name and your position, starting from the government side.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Anis Fariha. I'll be the first speaker, the Prime Minister from the government team. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hani Farisha. I'll be the Deputy of Prime Minister and the Government Whip for today's debate.
Okay, thank you to the government side. Now we move to the opposition side.
Hello everyone, I am Baiduri, the opposition leader, the first speaker. Thank you.
Hello, I am Lisrafikin. I am second speaker of the opposition.
I'm Amar Akmal bin Zabidi. I'm the opposition whip for the opposition side. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. The House will come to order now. I am pleased to welcome you all to this fourth round of OSIM Vice Chancellor Debate Championship 2022. I would like to remind the members of the floor they may only raise points of information in their constructive speech and only after the first minute and before the last minute of speech. Also, please ensure that your internet connection is stable and your voice is audible. Are there any inquiries before we start?
From us, no.
Okay, I suppose no. Okay, thank you. So today's motion is this House supports an application of Islamic feminism as a requirement of developmental aid for Muslim majority. Okay, with that, I call upon the Prime Minister to deliver her speech.
Before that, hello everyone. Can you guys hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Is it audible or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
clear.
Right, thank you. So I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, good evening. I bid to all members of the floor. So in today's debate, we from the government side, we believe that this House agrees with the motion, which is this House supports an application of Islamic feminism as requirement for developmental aid for Muslim majority. So we believe that from the government side, we believe that this House should support an application of Islamic feminism as the yardstick or as a requirement for any developmental aid that is given or that is being set up upon by the government to the whole country itself. So first of all, who do we really take up on the stakeholders in today's debate? So the stakeholders that we really want to protect here is the community. First is the community itself, which is includes children, elderly, and women itself, and women, the majority of women. And the second is the stakeholders is the focusing on the woman in general, or in this case, in today's debate, the woman in Islamic majority, the majority of women in Islam. So from the stakeholders that we have given to you, so now we will characterize how do we government are going to support this application of Islamic feminism, especially going for the especially going as the yardstick for developmental aid. Is first of all, we would like or we are going straight for the stance, which is we want to uplift the woman's value through the application of Islamic feminism, especially in the developmental aid. So what does this developmental aid really stands for, right? So the developmental aid that we are going for in today's debate is that before this, we know that the developmental aid that is given, especially in in Muslim majority, is focusing on a very surface level, which is, if we can say that it's very mundane. There's no specific regulation been given, and we can see that there's no yardstick that is actually can be set up before this. So instead of like going just for the just aiming for the enhancement of the developmental aid for the country itself without any like specific variation going for it. So we from the government side, we believe that this very mundane developmental aid should have the should put in the application of Islamic feminism as a requirement for the Muslim majority in Muslim majority country in the process of decision making process. So how many minutes? So we from the government side believes that we support this motion where the integration of developmental aid and at the same the integration of developmental aid with the application of Islamic feminism for the community as a whole should be focused on, especially when at the same time we are uplifting the woman's value through this application of feminism in the case where this feminism is not going for the liberal kind of feminism, but it actually enhances the Islamic variation into that perspective. So we are addressing in today's debate, we are addressing that Islamic feminism not only caters for the not only going to be the responsibility of the woman only, but also for the men itself, in whereby the community as the majority itself
Your eye,
have
please.
to support the feminism, Islamic feminism for as the regulation for the developmental aid, right? So my first point is that going back to our stance, which is we want to uplift the woman's value, but also integrating the developmental aid through the to this Islamic feminism, whereby we actually want to we're actually going for the integration of Islamic feminism as a Islamic feminism to the community as a whole. So how does this actually work, and what do we support here? Or what actually do we support in today's debate, right? So from our mechanism before that, we want to curb this curb I mean, like, we want to lessen the mundane developmental aid by actually going for a more specific Islamic feminism application in that, because we want all the benefits that will be given from this newly innovated or newly innovated application for the community as a whole, not only to women, because nowadays as a status quo, nowadays we see that even in a very even in a country that has so many Muslim majority living in it, we can see that even in news we see that there's always going to be cases of immoral acts being spread or like sexual harassment still being a very very dire situation that has been going on in the news, and we see that this is a very worse situation where we believe that from the government side, we believe that there's a need for this Islamic feminism to be applied into the regulation, because we don't want these affected women to always to keep on being a subject to abuse or being catcalled always, and we need a stop to this. So so we believe that from the government side, we don't want this woman or any woman in general, not only to the Muslim community but also to other countries that has so many Muslim majority living in it, should be protected and should be in the the protective way that we are going for in today's debate. So with that, we proudly agree with this motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Prime Minister for her speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Now I would like to call upon the opposition leader to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, especially women, since we are talking about women today. So the topic for our debate this afternoon is this House supports an application of Islamic feminism requirement for development aid for Muslim major in developing countries. We quite agree with the definition given by the affirmative team. However, there is lack of something since the scope that being stated by the government is quite limited, which is to the women, elderly, and kids. Okay, and we are talking about a very serious issue, and so we need to be very cautious. And we from the negative team believe that the opposition's actually I am waiting for the burden of proof. So if there is any, maybe you can keep it up later from your second speaker. And today, from our side, I will be talking about the policy, about why don't we need the policy, why we don't need the policy, and how can feminism be a dangerous thing. And next point will be explained by my second speaker, which is Riz Rafikin. It is more about the this is not a gender issue. And last, my third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. Okay, back to my main point. So this house want to support an application of Islamic feminism requirement, which means it is about the mechanism. Even the first, the Prime Minister stated that about the integration, about the mechanism. So, which means that they want to have a new mechanism or upgraded mechanism. We from the opposition, we don't think that the mechanism is needed, because why? I want to ask, why do we need the new policy too? Why do we need, since we are all Muslim? I believe we are all Muslim, inshallah. So isn't it Islam is already a perfect and solid religion. So if we want to add more mechanism, it is like we don't have a right faith in Islam. So it is like a very it's like you are adopting the main core of Islam. Since if during my study, I believe that the core of Islam is to protect everyone. Even after Muhammad SAW came with Islam, the human and even the woman itself had gained their rights and freedom. So why we need another new mechanism? Okay. Why do we need to highlight this issue today, since we already have a perfect and solid things? Are you saying that women need this type of policy? Okay. And more, in today, without policy, we already have many women that so very powerful, so very influencing. For example, the woman of Finland, the president of New Zealand, even if we look at Sirah, Islamic history, we can know about Maryam, the mother of Isa. Okay, she even used his only hand to have the kurma, isn't it? Okay, the hands that rock, the cradle rocks the world. The woman giving birth to future leaders. The woman is already perfect, not perfect lah, but the woman is already empowered. Okay, whatever the odds or challenge, woman will always prevail the whole world. Woman will always shine together, and I believe the policy is not needed. Okay, and then back to my other point is about the feminism can be harm also. When you are talking, you are mentioning about the Islamic feminism. Besides, it's like you don't have the real faith in Islam. The core of the believing. It is also feminism can be harm because do you know why a mufti means someone who give the fatwa to other Muslim? Mufti cannot be a Muslim according to all four fiqh scholars. Women cannot be a mufti since women are tended not all the time, okay, tended to use the emotion. They have some hormonal issues. I'm not saying that men didn't have the hormone issues, but women are really fragile to that things, so that women cannot always be we are afraid that women be exchangers since we use the feminist thing. Okay, and then if we are so focusing about the feminism in Islam, we afraid that we'll have the discrimination among men towards men. Okay, maybe as we can see today, reality check, there are women that believe that the hierarchy that being stated and recommended by Islam, which is the man first and then the woman as the makmum, is not needed. We can see today there are imam by a woman. We are afraid that things will come out if we really use this kind of policy. So that's why we really don't think we are against to the motion. Okay, and then also about the judge, we can see in the trial in the law case, the judge cannot be a woman because women have the tendencies to use another thing aside than some theories, some the logical, etc. So I'm not against women, since I'm also a Muslim. I'm Muslim lady, but we are afraid that when it comes to Islamic feminism, the woman itself will be misunderstanding about why about how woman itself, how the main core of Islam, how is the believing itself, and etc. Okay, and then my second the next point will be explained by my second presenter, which is more about the gender issues. It is a very serious issue. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, there are really strong reasons why we deny the motion, which means the motion can be harm to other people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the opposition leader for her speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 24 seconds. We shall now hear the speech from the Deputy Prime Minister, and the floor is hers.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are going to discuss whether this Islamic feminism is really needed or not in a Muslim majority developing countries, right? So, before I'm moving on, let's go to reaffirm my Prime Minister, where she mentioned that how does Islamic feminists going to work in our world, right? If we put Islamic feminists into the developmental aid, right? So we believe that within the Islamic feminists, it's not that you see normally feminists without a liberal feminist or just a regular feminist, they're going to support these women. They're going to uplift these women to an extent like sometimes it becomes very wild that it goes against the Islamic rules or regulation. However, we believe that if we have Islamic feminists in which it is guided with Islamic values, in which when you are respecting women, at the same time you have to follow the rules. You couldn't shame yourself. You shouldn't when things that wrong, you have to accommodate people to do right things, something like that. So if we put this value into the feminist, into the feminism ideology, it's gonna help. It's going to like refine how does this how the developmental aid, right? So that's for the reaffirmation. So going on to the rebuttal, in regards to the point to the motion, or in regards to the point of where the leader of opposition said about that women cannot be judged, where women cannot take the lead and whatnot. We're not trying to say in our world, the government is not trying to push women to become the leader or whatnot. We're trying to say that these women, they have their value have to be uplifted. Why do we say so, ladies and gentlemen? Because we are in the government side, we are refining into cases that happen daily. For example, the victim or the women who became victim of a sexual harassment. So if we have the Islamic feminists, how are they going to defend them? In another cases, if in other cases, for example, in order for the mufti to, we're not saying that women need to be a mufti. No, we're saying that that women can like advocate them, like share their opinion about, since they like really care about women's value and all. At the same time, it is bounded or guided with the Islamic values or regulation. So they could like advocate this mufti and all, right? So this is why Islamic feminism is actually good. And also in regards to the point where the leader of opposition said the world is already fine, the world is already good enough, we don't need Islamic feminism. And then how can you, what can you say about people that still get sexual harassment, but about the girls that doesn't know where to go, that doesn't know where to live, because they just simply they felt ashamed. They felt like it's like an eye if they disclose that they're being molested or they're being assaulted. So if you believe, if you put Islam into the picture, or if you put Islamic feminism in the picture, we believe it's not only they're going to protect the value of women. It's not they're going to it's not only they're going to protect, but they also value this woman's value, that they are not tarnished or tainted when they got sexual harassed or something. It means that Islam is still it take care of its people as a whole. And going on to the next point from the government, we're going to tell you how does the government going to support, to what extent we are supporting Islamic feminism and developmental aid, right? So at the moment, as mentioned by the previous speaker, our current development is like a regular development. We doesn't have like a certain guidance or regulation. Sorry, we doesn't have a specific or a certain rules or regulation in doing what thing. But meanwhile, in Islamic regulation, we believe that it has more refining regulation, more what do you call a vast, where it touch almost all areas of expertise. That is one thing. Which is, it's not only focusing on not only focusing on community, but at the same time it focus also on the women, on the children. So in which this is also helpful for the development, right? Because it caters to all layers of society. So how does it's helpful, right? To what extent it is helpful. So if we refer to the history of Rasulullah, Sirah Rasulullah, but how did Rasulullah form diplomatic how Rasulullah formed diplomatic relationship with other country, because of the beauty of Islam, because of how it helps to take care of a woman's dignity, of women's value, because it never discriminate if you're Muslim or not, if you're women or not, if you are man or not, you are still being protected by Islam. But however, in today's world, we believe from what we saw, that women is not being taken care of carefully. It's not being taken care as much as it's not taken care nicely. What do we? I'm not trying to blame that Islam is wrong or not. Islam is entirely perfect. The regulation made by Islam is perfect. But the problem right now, the believer or the people themselves who dictate around, who wrongly misuse or doesn't follow the regulation properly, that is the wrong one. That's why, because they doesn't have a strong base, a strong faith of Islamic values, because they are aware of the regulation made by Islam. They aware that Islam is perfect, but they doesn't implement it in their life. For example, we can see it in our politician and in our leaders. They didn't like perfectly, or they didn't obey to the rules, to the Islamic guideline. For example, they're encouraging all this bribery and all. They didn't like, uplift people. They keep on like looking forward to powers, but not the welfare of the people. So this is why we needed the Islamic feminists, because not only it helps to understand women better, but at the same time, it helps community as a whole, because we believe Islamic feminists, they understand women better, they value women better, they see the value of women much clearer than people, but at the same time they are bounded by Islam's or Islamic guidelines and regulations. So it's not that again right. Lalas, for example, if on normal circumstances, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, in conclusion, Islamic like help to restrain unwanted things even more refined compared to the non-Islamic feminists in the Muslim majority country. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Deputy Prime Minister for her speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 44 seconds. Now I would like to call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition to deliver his message or his speech. Thank you. The floor is yours.
I'll start my speech in 3, 2. Good morning, madam. Good morning, speakers of the hall, vice panels of dedicators, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponents, comrades, last but not least, members of the floor. Today, we are debating the resolutions that this House support on applications of Islamic feminism as a requirement for development and for Muslim majority developing countries. So we, on the opposition side, strongly disagree on this resolution. So first, I will refuse and rebut the ideology and point given by the second by the government, and then I will give you my point. So first of all, so what given by the second minister, by the deputy prime ministers, that there's a lot of sexual harassment where this kind of feminism ideology, they are more care about this kind of people, more care about women's right, more care about the women who are being sexually assaulted and stuff. So we are saying that, are you saying that this kind of ideology, are you saying that the only the feminism itself only who are strongly support this ideology? Because I believe that this is not an issue where only feminism should only focus. This is like a worldwide issue. This is like a not just feminism issue. This is like a moral issue. This is not that only feminism should take place on this kind of ideology, because we have a moral issue. We have a government also. We have a lot of action. We have a lot, as stated in the World Bank, the government take steps to improve women economically, improve women as their improve women on their lifestyle and stuff. So this is not just feminism ideology. Feminine ideology is they are just segregating the ideology. They are just finding their own way. They just like we're gonna create a path and take our own road, and then we're gonna which already the road is already aligned with the Islam and the government and whatever government moral policy have. So moving on to my point. So my point is like this is not a gender issue because this is not a gender issue because we live in an equal world where men and women in Islam are treated equally. Western idealism, who are the separate the importance of women, because as this stands right for gender equity, we believe that this issue in Muslim majority they are in this developing Muslim majority developing country, there are a lot of other issues rather than just focusing on feminism. By saying that this is a feminism issue, are we saying that women need right to send aid to further on development aid? Do we actually need to propose an ideology that we have women need to have right? Women, because I believe that this is a human's right, not a woman's right. No, thank you. To give aid. So we have a lot of women examples in this, especially in Malaysia itself. We have a lot of women who help this kind of this Muslim majority developing countries without any feminism ideology. We have Hariza Helmi, we have Anna Sister, we have Ade Alena. We have a lot of women not just in Malaysia and other countries. We have a lot of women who doesn't actually strongly firmly believe in this feminism ideology, but they stands that this is a human's right where we should help this Muslim majority developing country. So there shouldn't be any right created just for feminism ideology. So I also believe, okay, we're saying about Muslim majority developing country. Instead of we are talking about how the feminism, how feminism should help them. This Muslim majority family, they should focus on more serious issues, such as we have a why Muslim majority family. Why they are still co-developing, why they are not developed yet. Okay, why we have many countries like the Sun's country, we have like Palestine, why they are not developed yet, why they are still developing, how long are we going to develop? Because this is a serious issue, because in the countries of Muslim majority developing country, we have an issue of corruption. We have, the New Straits Times in 2019 stated that corruption is a big issue in Muslim majority nation. No country ranked top 20 in corruption perception index CPI, as Somalia and Somalia ranked 180 and Syria at rank 178. So this is a very worst issue. Why are we focusing on this kind of issue instead of Muslim developing country? They should be focusing on this kind of issue. They should fix the corruption. And secondly, we can see we have a serious issue, and then we also have an issue of poverty, because this kind of Muslim majority family, we have a lot of issue on poverty. If we increase poverty, which increase by years, in Uzbekistan itself, the GDP is 51.11 billion, while in developed country, in Japan, they have 3.69 trillion. So instead of we using for guidance in the issue, we should do like what we have this organization in the US, United States Agency for International Development, where we have this agency that help developing assistance, who give developing assistance and humanitarian assistance. Why don't we Muslim majority country help each other? Why don't we create this kind of agency to help each other instead of using feminism ideology? I don't believe that this feminism ideology is nonsense. So why should we debate in feminism ideology? Because we have more what to debate in this world to help Muslim majority developing country. So that's why. So what have I told you? I have rebutted the point given, the mumbling, the nonsense point given by the second deputy, by the deputy prime minister, And I also presented to you that my point that this is not actually a gender issue, because we Muslim itself have, and this is not a gender issue, this is more towards the human rights issue. Thank you.
Thank you to the Deputy Leader of Opposition for his speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, I would like to call upon the government whip to deliver her message or her speech, and the floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here into today's motion in which this House supports this. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, this House support an application of Islamic feminism as a requirement for development aid for Muslim majority and developing countries. Before I goes into to the government's bench point, we're going through. Let's go through what points delivered by the opposition. Right, first they say that it's not needed. The policy is not needed. The new policy is not needed because they said that whatever they have now is already fine enough. It's good enough. Like people is like treated nice enough. They said that. However, it's like very saddening that they didn't see others issues, that they didn't see these small issues that happen in the world. Like as I've mentioned earlier, as the second speaker has mentioned, whereby there's sexual harassment and all, people is being oppressed. That is one. And then because without Islamic guidance, without Islamic guidance, we believe that people will widely defend something. People will widely, or without guidance, they will protect something without an actual or the truth of Islamic guidance. That is first. And because in our world, we believe that in regards to that, while in our world, we believe that we in need of Islamic feminists, not only because we focus only on feminists, but we also believe that these people, this Islamic, the feminism, not only they uplifting women's value, not only they understand women's well, but at the same time, they know Islamic value, Islamic regulation, Islamic guidelines, Islamic rules much better compared to the regular feminism. Or because it's like killing two birds with one stone. You can two things can happen in one time. That is first. And secondly, in regards to the not a gender issue, yes, it is like it's true. We admit that there's a lot of other issues to be addressed in this motion. However, as I've mentioned earlier, we how do we say it? Since it's like Islamic feminism, it's not that we only focusing on this woman ideology and all, but we also, it's like you are protecting this woman's right and all, but at the same time you are helping the country, you are helping this the country, this Muslim majority country to grow, because it's like I've mentioned, you're doing jobs at one time, so hence that is why we needed Islamic feminism to be implemented or to be used in developmental aid, because one is going to be refined much better if it than we are now, in which not only it help in developmental I'm sorry, it's not only that it's going to address issues clearly, but it is such as poverty and all, but it also help to cater others issues such as the women issues as well. So in which it is later, which is this is like much more wider compared to that what we have now. Yes.
Okay. Can you redefine what is the developmental issue? Thank you.
Right, the developmental issues, right. I think this is the one that is mentioned by by the DLO, in which like the poverty issue, the poverty issues, the people, the corruption and all. That is like among the developing developing countries issues, right? So in regard to that, I think that in our world we see that Islamic feminism is a good jumping stone, as in, because it is more refining. It's more it sees things more clearly to me, because it's not that we only focus on women's only, but it takes things more vast compared to I'm sorry, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the government whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Now we shall hear the speech from the opposition whip. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry, do you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Hold on. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Feminism is actually started as a political ideology who keeps on fighting for women's rights and gender equality. But the thing is, anyone should be free to give aid. Why must specific towards a gender? Why we must give this job to only the feminists? So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good day I bid to all. Also, thank you for the speaker, the timekeeper, the judges, and of course, to the appreciated audience, and also to my comrades right here and the government team. So here I am with my convincing speech, will try to change your mind to why this House support and application of Islamic feminism as a requirement for development aid for Muslim majority developing countries. First of all, we live in an equal world where men and women in Islam treated equally. This is my deputy leader of opposition have mentioned, that we live in an equal world where men and women in Islam treated equally. It is the Western idealism that separates the importance of women. Now, the truth is that we didn't support this. In Islam, we didn't separate the importance of women. We still fight for women's rights, but that doesn't make us a feminist. Now, I want to highlight the fact that this kind. Now I would like to repeat the point from my opposition leader, which is I want to highlight the fact that this kind of policy is not needed, because women still can develop aid as they want, and the government is trying to tell us that we need to give this activity only specifically to the feminists. And why is that? It's still a mystery. Doesn't it now sounds like it is a discrimination towards men? Now that's the question that will still live as a mystery. So going to the second point that my deputy leader of opposition have said, I would love to repeat the points from my fellow opposition, which is this is not a gender issues. It is a solid point, and here is why. We don't even need this policy since we live in a fair world. There is no discrimination towards women. There is no discrimination toward women or men. We have never blocked them from developing aid to others. It is humans' right. If you have the desire to do it, then go on. We have never blocked you from doing this. So for now, I would love to rebut a few points from the governments, which is one of them have said about the integration. So here, integration of this country. You were talking about the integration of this country. Should we really achieve integration using this method? Should we use the feminist ideology to assist the achievement of this country? I'm not a misogynist. I support everything that women have the right for. But when it comes to Islam, I need to enforce you guys that feminist is a Western ideology. Then why do we need to bring this ideology to our country, and you involve it with the Islam ideology. And I don't think it is the right thing to do. I'm sorry, the government, but that is the fact. So for now, one of you have said that this is the method for uplifting women's value. Well, I'm sorry, but what are you trying to say? Actually, a lot of women have give birth to a geniuses, and you also talked about sexual harassment. Well, that was actually a good point. I mean, but everything that I could say is, without feminist ideology, we still can achieve, we still could prevent this sexual harassment, because there is already a few law to help women. We even have the act, to protect women from the sexual harassment. Then why do we need to involve the ideology of this feminism to protect women? Now that's the fact that you maybe want to think about more. So, and here is some comparison. Okay, I'm sorry, the third speaker from the government, I mean the government whip, have said about the policy is not needed because we have enough. Well, that is actually out of topic. The policy is not needed, not because we are doing good enough. It is because the feminist doesn't need this application to help. You still can help either way, as the point that I was saying. You can help either with this application or without this application. You don't even need to fight for your requirement. If you want to help, then just go on. There is no point that you want to fight. Like everything that you want is for you. It's for only the feminists that have the right to fight for this application. And now you are talking about the integration. Okay, I would love to repeat the proof from Mr. Deputy Leader Opposition, which he have said that Haliza Helmi is a proof that we don't need this feminist ideology to achieve the integration as other countries have achieved. Even the burden of proof, I'm sorry, but even the burden of proof was not stated clearly, since we don't need the policy at first. So, and also, okay, you're also talking about the uplift women value. Okay.
No, I please.
I'm sorry, I will do you later, my lady. Uplift. This application will uplift the women value, which is okay. That might be true. Okay, uplift women value, and why is that? For uplift women value is true, but the policy, but as I saying, it's not a gender issue. Okay, and giving it to only the woman. As I was saying, I keep on repeating the same thing. As I was saying that when it comes to the uplift women value, and how about the men's value? It is now seems like a discrimination toward men. So for now, I would love to say that, ladies and gentlemen, the hands. I would love to repeat the quotes from my opposition leader, which is saying, the hands that rock the cradle rocks the world, as what is said by the Prime Minister. Even though without this policy, women are still a great creature, I can bet. So that is why we believe that the applications of Islamic feminism as a requirement for development aid for Muslim majority development will bring harm to our country. And I have never been prouder to say that the opposition will win this debate. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition whip for her speech. The speaker spoke for exactly 7 minutes. Now both of the government and opposition are given 1 minute to prepare the reply speech. Okay, the time is up. I now call upon the speaker from the opposition side to deliver the reply speech.
Thank you to Speaker of Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have been debating about this House supports an application of Islamic feminism requirement for developmental aid for Muslim major in developing countries. And we on the negative team have clearly shown that this is not true. This is not very solid. Let's look again at the important points of this debate, and I will highlight the mistakes done by the government and also show why would we win this case. All right. The first of all, even the government didn't state clearly about the burden of proof since we don't need the policy at first. Okay, I can see the concern from the government, but why only feminism? Why only feminists? How about the NGOs? How about the independent women? How about the independent men? Okay, anyone should be free to give aid to everybody. And this is not a gender issue. Why must specific towards a certain gender? And also that have been explained by our second speaker, this is not a gender issue. So we need to be fair to everyone. Or everyone have the right to help other people, not just only women. All right. And next, about the law about the sexual harassment. It is about the criminal under the criminal topics. And even we want to back to the criminal topic, it's actually we already have the law. We already have the Sharia law to help the woman. And even there are men that have been sexual harassed by by men and also women. So we only need to back to the Sharia law. Maybe we can do some the hudud kisos, or even for the discussion things when we want to uplift the woman, we can do some usrah, because that is what Muhammad SAW taught us to do, usrah. Okay. And about the development issue, I think it must be taken care by the whole people, not only by the feminists. Next, government also stated by about the strong base. They want a strong base of foundation, etc. But the main basement and foundation in Islam, the core in Islam is about aqidah. Aqidah, which means the belief, and the belief must be built by education. Education. Do you ever heard the not analogy, the quote from Arabic, which is madrasatun, which means the woman, the mother is the okay, the madrasatun. Sorry. Okay, the mother need to be the school, and the father need to assist them also. All right. So that's mean the balancing between genders. We don't need specific gender to do this only specific things. And then about the integration, about the mechanism, we really think that it is not needed, since we already have the law, we already have everything in this world. We just only to not uplifting, but we need to strengthen all the what we already have today. And we also stated about the mufti and judges previously, because it may be a long-term effect. We don't want that. That is, we need to think further, isn't it? And also the government side stated that women are taken nicely, but I think it comes from education, it comes from the house, it comes from the education from the woman itself. From the woman by means the parents. Okay. So therefore, we believe that we win this point, since the government team has never responded to this thing. They did respond, but not very specific, and even about the burden of proof is not really clearly stated due to certain things. Therefore, we win this debate and ask you to choose our stance, which neglect the motion. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you to the opposition side. Now to conclude, let's welcome the speaker from government side to give the reply speech.
Right, hello. So you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, right. So I'll be starting my speech in three. Wait, I enjoyed this time. All right, so I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. So right, moving on to the reply speech from the government side. We believe that our opposition should win this debate because of few things that we have already covered to you before. And I think that through our main point, which is the end goal that we really want for this debate to go for, is that we want for the integration of integration of the application. We are going for the integration of Islamic feminism to be concluded in the developmental aid for the community as a whole. So we are actually not going to say that we are actually not going to say that this is the first mistake from the opposition side, that they said that they are addressing for women to go for big roles in Islamic decision making. But actually, in our side, we are trying to say that we are not actually addressing women to go for big roles, but actually applying this feminism, Islamic feminism, which already been said to you guys, that this feminism ideology has already been set out with the proper guidance from the Islamic jurisdiction. So to apply this application in the requirement should enhance the community as a whole. So the second mistake that the opposition side did say to us that they said that there's so many other issues that should be taken on from into this debate. But then when they said that it's about maybe like they take an example like corruption. Okay, but actually there's no relation that could be explained. How does this actually relate to the developmental aid that we want to cater on, which in this case that we are trying to apply for this Islamic feminism. So instead of brushing off the sufferings or the fight that this Islamic feminism has already going through, this is actually very not related to the in today's debate. So I don't know what the opposition are trying to go for right now. So another thing that they said that I believe that I heard is that if they said that they don't want this, they said that Islamic feminism is the worst thing that could be applied with Islam. But then again, they also said that if the Islamic feminism want to do it or want to help the community, they can do it either way. Isn't this kind of like a contradicting issue or contradicting point of view from the opposition side? So I believe that is the mistake from them. And last but not least, we really want to point out in today's debate why we should win in this debate, because we want for the community, not only for the women, for the but also to the children, the elderly, and also for the men to be to embrace and to accept this this ideology of Islamic feminism, because it is already been enhanced with the Islamic foundation itself. So by that, we let us conclude this debate with saying that Islam not only beautifies but also complements the ideology that has been brought up by the Islamic feminism, in which case it is something that this Islamic feminism are fighting for and should be applied as a requirement in the developmental aid for the society and for the society in the Islamic majority developing countries. By that, we proudly support this case. Thank you.
All right, thank you to the government side. So that is all for this round. And for this round's debate session, on behalf of the House, I thank the adjudicators for their assistance. I congratulate all the debaters on their performance. Now the host will assign all the adjudicators to the breakout room to discuss. And since this is a silent round, so the debaters can dismiss from the room.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Hello.
Nak tak gambar tak?
Nak tak
Good
gambar?
game, good game.
Tak gambar
Gambar.
itu.
Boleh.
Nice.
Inilah nak menangis rupanya Anis.